Thank you very much, guys. First and foremost, congratulations on another phenomenal win. Let's start off talking about the game. It felt like you were always in control, got a couple of early towers. Despite giving up kills, it didn't really look like Gambit had you put under pressure. How did the game play out from your opinion, and what did you guys do right?
I think the drafting went into our favor. We kind of expected what they did in a way. We went through all the scenarios and that worked for us. Also, I think that the early game was played very well. We played lane swap, we handled it. They lane swapped in the end. I think we just got advantage from that, and Freddy got more farm than Cabochard. We denied him bot lane a bit more. And just out of that, and then transition into Drake. And once we had the first Drake, we just set up for the second one and just kept snowballing like that. As long as we could keep getting Drake, there was no pressure onto us, essentially. So they had to make the move and get the Drake vision. They didn't, and it worked.
Yeah, it's really great to hear you talk about pressure, because it feels like SK as a team has stepped up since 2014. With Fox and Forgiven joining the squad, your laning phase is no longer a problem. You're 3-0 in the split. What is it SK's doing that's different outside of the players? We heard from Inner Flame talking about your coaching staff. So break me down what else has changed off the Rift for you and your team.
So at least we still have Lucas as our sport psychologist in the end, and he's doing a great job. We have Inner Flame as our coach and manager, who tries to get as much from us as possible in any sense. I think that overall we have a really good environment, at least coaching-wise, and we're just trying to make the best out of it and improve steadily but surely.
It definitely seems to be the case. I want to ask about one of your players in particular, Forgiven. 0 deaths in 3 games. He's got a 31 KDA at this point, immortal. How different is it for you playing with now Forgiven as opposed to Candy Panda from last year?
It definitely puts more pressure onto me to perform. I feel like he's a player that you can look up to, and he's definitely the best player I've ever played with. So I will do my best to just step up and be on par with him and just show that I'm worth playing with him.
Well, 3-0, your Lulu has been phenomenal thus far, so it definitely seems to be the case. Just a few more questions. I do want to ask about what your preparation has been like. You haven't faced the top-tier teams just yet. Talking about Elements, talking about Fnatic. You've got Elements next week. You've got Unicorns of Love tomorrow. Both matchups that are going to be a bit more challenging. Do you approach those differently from the likes of a Gambit, or how does it work in your mind?
I think if you allow yourself to approach a minor team or like not that strong team differently than a really big team, I think you're doing something wrong, because then that can cause you losses. And we've experienced that in the past, and there is no slackness or complacence anyhow, anywhere in us. We're just trying to be the best, and we're doing everything we can to be the best right now. And I think the games against Elements in UL, we will be prepared and show our strength, and that's all we have to do.
Well, we'll have to see if it's going to be enough. I'm looking forward to it. One last thought from you, just a bit more personal. Something that I remember talking about at Gamescom last year before Worlds was warding and SK. Something Deficio and I talked about last week was warding and SK. Statistically, from a wards purchased and wards placed, your team is lower down. However, strategically, you still seem to know everything. How is that possible when you don't actually have the same amount of coverage that other teams are using?
Wards essentially cost gold, so that's a resource. If you're spending money on wards and you're not using them, that means you're spending money for nothing. So we rather have brains than wards, and we just try to be all over the place and have map awareness from that. And we don't really need as many wards. If you see, I'm placing, just in comparison to other supports, I'm placing the same, if not more wards. So I'm trying to make up for that. And I think it works the way we do it. And if we don't spend the resources there, we might have another item advantage on another end, and that can give us a team fight. So in the end, if we're using that efficiently, we're just winning all over.
I think that's a fantastic line. We've always heard wards win games, but if you've got brains, you don't need wards. Enrater, congratulations on 3-0, and thank you very much. For now, we're going to send it over to Shox at the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Quick Shot.